Welcome to a new, very tiny mini-series I'm jokingly calling Better Late Than Never, where I catch up on all the Star Wars stuff that I saw happening at Star Wars Celebration but was too busy to cover in depth. Today I'm diving into that Star Wars Jedi Survivor trailer, because I want to, and Fallen Order is dope. The whole thing is pretty short and incredibly vague, so I'm supplementing the trailer with some information from an interview on StarWars.com, as well as the official press release, which tells us what little we know about the plot. Mainly that Survivor will take place 5 years after the events of Fallen Order. That's quite the time jump, which takes us all the way to the same time period as the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, 9 years before A New Hope, 1 year after Solo: A Star Wars Story, and about 4 years before Andor is gonna take place. The press release states Star Wars Jedi Survivor picks up 5 years after the events of Jedi Fallen Order. Cal must stay one step ahead of the Empire's constant pursuit as he begins to feel the weight of being one of the last remaining Jedi in the galaxy. Accompanied by his trusty companion BD-1, Cal will meet and ally himself with an array of unique and interesting characters on his journey. Jedi Survivor will expand on the series' dynamic combat in new and innovative ways. In order to survive, Cal must learn new skills and grow his connection with the Force. The trailer's first shot where you can tell what's happening is inside the Mantis. It looks like it's seen better days, with the map room all staticky. It looks like it just suffered a crash landing on a desert planet of some kind. The ship is still settling into place. Out the window, you can see footsteps walking away from the ship. We then cut to a Powin sitting in an office. The StarWars.com article says that he is an Imperial senator making a dangerous deal on Coruscant. He has brought a package, and as it opens, we discover that it's Cal's lightsaber. I'm gonna stick with this for a while because the mysterious senator is who I assume is narrating the entire teaser. All his lines are, "Tell me, Cal Kestis, why lead when they won't follow? Why fight when you can't win? What is your next move, Jedi?" It's hard to glean anything from that other than things sound dire for Cal. It's Act 2 of this story, that makes sense. I'm sure Cal will be put through the ringer. The Powin seems to covet the box he was brought and then opens it to reveal it's Cal's lightsaber. It's interesting that it seems like it's back to the single blade. I'm not sure how I feel about that because I love the final construction of the double-bladed lightsaber in Fallen Order on Ilum. At least that's my headcanon for the quote-unquote official time Cal builds that. He takes the lightsaber of his fallen master Jaro Tapal, he combines it with the lightsaber of his current master Seer Junda, and he makes something new. He takes the lessons from both Jedi and he becomes a Jedi of his own. It's great. So it's interesting that he now seems to be back to a single blade. I might be reading into this too much. It could simply be a single blade for the trailer's sake, or maybe in the 5-year time jump he has begun teaching Merrin. Maybe he has taken part of himself and passed it on to her. I can get behind that symbolism as well. Regardless, the lightsaber has been taken and passed to this Powin senator. That is obviously bad news for Cal, but it could be good news for gameplay mechanics. I've been wondering how this game would continue to be a Metroidvania-style game without doing what Metroid does and taking away all of Samus's abilities right at the start, requiring her to unlock everything again. The Force doesn't work that way. It would feel bad and out of place to have to relearn using the Force to push and pull. But at the same time, a controller only has so many buttons, so if you take the lightsaber, that frees up new control options for new Force abilities. I'm not saying the lightsaber will be gone the entire game, but I like the idea that we might be fully reliant on the Force for a while. All that said, Merrin is another option for the player to learn completely new skills. Using magic in a game for the first time ever would be pretty awesome, but Merrin isn't in this trailer. I'm sure she's in the game, the crew as a whole is mentioned a couple times on StarWars.com, but let's move on. We see Cal fighting against a red lightsaber-wielding opponent in a big cloak. It's impossible to make out who they are, but I'm not getting Inquisitor vibes from them. I have nothing else to go off of except to note that they seem to be left-handed, which brings us to the person in the Bacta tank. So many of the shots build up to this mysterious figure in a Bacta tank in a room that's become overgrown. It looks like he only has one of his arms, his left arm, so he might be the same person as the red lightsaber-wielding enemy. My initial guess was that the man in the tank was a Jedi that was injured during the Clone Wars. He was tossed into a Bacta tank to heal, and then Order 66 happened, and he was basically left in there forgotten, kept in stasis for 10 years. A Jedi survivor, if you will. I still think that works. Cal could wake him up, and then he could go a little crazy after learning that his entire order was destroyed, bleed his lightsaber crystal, go on a rampage, that kind of thing. I think it also might be interesting if he were some surviving member of the Sith from a really, really long time ago. I'm definitely getting into tinfoil hat theories now. That seems like a massive stretch, and the room should probably be more overgrown if that were the case, but it's a creative way to get a new Sith character into the story. There isn't a whole lot more to say about the teaser, so I'm going to get into the StarWars.com article and press release a little more. When asked if Survivor would follow in the footsteps of Fallen Order, diving into lore beyond the movies and using Dathomir as an example, game director Stig Asmussen said, "Absolutely. He goes on about Dathomir for a while, but I hope that means we will once again see new takes on familiar locations like Dathomir and Ilum. I loved Fallen Order's balance of new and existing planets, and I hope they can keep a similar ratio. I love seeing new places, but I can't deny my jaw dropped when I found out we were heading to Ilum." In the press release, Stig also talks about the game's combat. For Jedi Survivor, we are working in lockstep with Lucasfilm Games to build on the legacy of Jedi Fallen Order. We're leveraging advanced technology to create more dynamic Jedi combat and cinematic storytelling to expand on Cal's story as he matures and survives during the Dark Times. I really enjoyed the combat system of Fallen Order, but I've also seen plenty of criticism surrounding it. I think they've taken that feedback to heart to revamp it and make it even more exciting. Like I said, it was plenty exciting for me, so I hope they don't make it too technically challenging. Personally, I hope they make the map system easier to navigate. But even if they didn't touch a single mechanic in the game, I wouldn't care. I adore Fallen Order, it's probably my favorite Star Wars game and one of my favorite games of all time. I will do anything to spend more time with Cal and BD1 and Marin and Seer and Grease. And you know what? While we're on the topic of these characters, and with the setting of the game being right at the same time as the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, does that make Cal's appearance in live action more likely in the final 3 episodes? If you had asked me before episode 3 of Obi-Wan Kenobi, I would have said absolutely not. But with the introduction of a network of Jedi safe houses across the galaxy, I'm starting to change my tune. I still don't think it's gonna happen, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, maybe. Tala and the Path make any surviving Jedi of that time period potentially just a hollow call away. Part of the reason I didn't want Cal to appear in anything live action yet was because I didn't want his fate to be spoiled before I played the games. But now that's not an issue. I'm still very doubtful, but that little voice saying maybe in the back of my head is getting louder, and if it does happen, I am going to freak out. But that's everything I've got to say about Survivor for now. Let me know what you think of the teaser in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.